Did you know that one of Cartier's most popular pieces was designed by a queer icon? Pride Month is almost over, but as a card-carrying member of the Alphabet Mafia, it's my duty to bring you at least a little bit of queer jewelry history. We are talking about Cartier for the second week in a row. And much like Tuesday's tiara video, I'm not here to talk shit. I'm here to talk about a piece that I think is rather lovely. Initially designed in 1924, this is what's known as the Trinity ring. It's made of 3 interlocking bands, one yellow, one white, and one rose gold, and it is said to have been designed for the French playwright and poet Jean Cocteau. Close friends with Louis Cartier, he asked if Cartier could design a piece of jewelry that was a wearable interpretation of the rings around Saturn. Cocteau was a bit obsessed with Saturn and its rings. Whether or not this story is true or a little bit of brand myth-making, it's clear that Cocteau truly loved these rings, as he always wore 2 of them stacked together. And more than that, he gave one as a symbol of his devotion to his partner and muse, Jean Marais. This ring was worn by basically every chic and famous person throughout the 20th century. There are far too many to count. But one notable person who loved wearing this ring was the French dreamboat and serial philanderer Alain Delon. He gave Cocteau's devotion to Marais as his reason. Delon says that he once asked Jean Cocteau why he wore the rings, and Cocteau replied, "I gave one to Jean Marais and said, 1 circle is for you, the 2nd is for me, and the 3rd is our love." That's a very sweet reason, especially for Delon, a man who was known to have cheated on basically every single one of his partners. When you look up the history of these rings, you see a lot of sources stating that they were inspired by antique Russian wedding rings and ancient Celtic rings. The Russian bit seems to be a myth. There's no evidence of interlocking rings being used for Russian weddings prior to the 1920s, and the Celtic inspiration seems to be alluding to the interlocking triple knot or triquetra. In fact, the closest older examples that I could find are French rings. These were quite popular in France in the 18th and 19th centuries. They are interlocking bands, either 2 or 3, and they are made in such a way that they lay flat on top of each other. Another similar example is what's known as a Fede Gimel ring, where 3 interlocking bands usually close to form the motif of 2 hands clasping a heart or clasping each other. Now, I do not have any problems with this piece of jewelry. I think it's quite elegant, it's simple, it's timeless, and I think the price point is very fair for a piece of designer jewelry.